Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time to tee it up with our team, Tom and John, as they talk with the people driving Orange County and keeping our community on course. Come on in, guys. Who's first?
John, welcome to the tee.
Oh, it's good to be here. Yeah.
It's great to be here.
Shotgun tournament.
You know what? We always start off talking a little golf, and I woke up this morning, I thought it was April Fool's.
Yeah.
Because I got up and I looked down and looked at my phone, and it said that the Live Golf had merged with the PGA. I know that's not a local story, but gosh, how incredible was that?
Well, it's pretty amazing. And, you know, it's like all this time the Live Golf is vilified for being so associated with the Saudis and run by the Saudis, and now it's all coming together. It's really strange. I think it's going to be interesting to see how people react. What do you think, Kirk?
Politics make for strange bedfellows, right?
Yeah.
When there's money involved, weird things happen.
Yeah.
Is this teed up with Tom, John, and Kirk?
And
or
Kirk,
do you want to introduce?
Listen. So we've
guest,
got Kirk Baurmeister here. He's the principal of Back Bay High School, but so I'm the mayor of Costa Mesa. But I tell you, everybody calls Kirk Mr. Costa Mesa. You were telling me off the air, Kirk, that you've been here since you were 2 years old.
Yep, came here from Omaha, Nebraska.
Nice. Is Omaha a nice place to be from, or is it a nice place?
Yes, it's a nice place about 2 months out of the year.
Okay, cool.
The other months you don't want to be there.
Okay, you're Mr. Costa Mesa, and you're the mayor of Costa Mesa, and we were just talking about the PGA stuff. What's the big Costa Mesa news for this weekend?
The big Costa Mesa news for this weekend is
on the PGA Tour.
On the PGA Tour. Is this a quiz?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Costa Mesa, Mr. Mayor. What's the big PGA news of the weekend?
The big PGA. What's going on? Something going on with Jake?
Yes.
Jake Knapp. What did he make?
He's playing in the Canadian this weekend.
Oh, okay.
He's
the Canadian.
Yes,
yeah.
he's. I believe that's because of his success on the Canadian Tour last year that qualified him for the Corn Ferry this year, or 2 years ago, whatever it was. He's got a spot in the Canadian Open.
Yeah, and he just tried out for the U.S. Open, the qualifier, and he shot well. He was like 6 under for his 2 rounds, but the guys just knocked out of his park. This one guy was 10 under par on his round going into the last hole. He bogeyed to finish 10 and didn't make the cut.
Wow.
Because the cut was at 11 under.
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but Jake was still in high school. He's like 17 years old. The qualifier, the first round of the U.S. Open qualifier was at Newport Beach Country Club. The top finishing pro shot 3 under par 68 that day. He was the top. He got second place. Jake shot 61 and won it by 7 strokes out there.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was his principal at Estancia at that time.
Okay, yeah, I figured about that time, yeah. You know what? I remember that because we kiddingly joked about. I was with you one day, and I say this lovingly to the Knapp and the Boley family and everything. I love Jake. I love Ryan. I love all the kids and everything. Love the parents and all that stuff. But it was like Kirk and I were talking one day. And he says, it's good that Jake has golf to fall back on because I think Jake was more interested in playing golf than studying hard at Estancia. Not that he was doing poorly in classes or whatever. But
he went to UCLA, so that's good. So I'm not going to tell you about it. My daughter. Let's put it this way: she just finished her first year of law school at UCLA, and she did about as well as you can do.
Nice.
Better than I've ever heard of a student do. So that's great.
Not a big surprise.
And then we're going.
So is this your adopted daughter, or
no?
Amy bring this kid into the marriage, or what happened?
No. She's my biological daughter.
Wow.
She gets all her law aptitude from me.
Gosh.
And all of her intelligence from her mom, and thank God all her looks from her mom too. Yeah.
And your other daughter didn't you go back for graduation on that?
No, we're going tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
We're going to Chicago tomorrow. So I'm okay. No golf this weekend. It's all going to be about being in the Windy City, having a great time, and enjoying.
Isn't that Terry
Olivia.
Cummings' old school?
Yeah, Terry Cummings, Mark Aguirre.
Remember Mark Aguirre? Yeah.
So when you go there, the athletic center is called the Ray. For Ray Meyer. Remember Ray Meyer?
Oh yeah, he was coached there for 50 years.
Yeah, and then his
son
Sean took over.
It's the only way his son could get a job.
Yeah, exactly. So she lives in a cool place right 2 blocks away from Wrigley Field. She's going to stay there for another year after college.
Nice. Well, that does it for the sports show today. And no, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah.
Kirk Baurmeister, so good to have you here. And we were joking a minute ago about John being the mayor and you being Mr. Costa Mesa, but in many ways you really are Mr. Costa Mesa. You're right in the heart of doing so many great things. First of all, before we get to some of the stuff that you volunteer and get involved in, you spend your working days at Back Bay High School. What a rewarding year this has been for you, I would imagine.
Yeah, I had worked at the district office for the last 7 years. I'd been a principal for 10 years before that. This was going to be my last year. And so I went to the superintendent and said, can I go back to a site and work with kids and teachers my last year? That was always my favorite thing. And he said, well, Back Bay's open. And I said, great. So I went back, and he came to me in January and said, things are going well. How about staying another year? So I talked to my wife about it, and I've had so much fun this year. I'm coming back for another year. So yeah, we made some good progress.
I heard discussion. Might be discussion on the table about a 10-year contract.
Well, you guys are sports fans, so I have told my staff that I am Walter Alston. You guys remember Walter?
I remember Walter Alston.
1 year at a time.
She signed 24 one-year contracts. So I said I'm signing for one more year, and at the end of the year, if you feel like you want me back for another year and I'm still having fun, we might go another year.
Yeah, Tommy did that too. Tommy Lasorda, 1 year contracts, and between the two of them, I think they were there for almost 40 years. So you do a great thing at Back Bay High School where you bring people from the community in. We've got Larry Weichman, Tim Starn, and really educate the students on stuff that's happening in the community, different opportunities for them. So tell the listeners a little bit about that.
Well, Back Bay is the district continuation high school. So our kids are kids that for one reason or another have fallen behind on their credits and wouldn't graduate from a traditional high school. And so we take kids that have not been successful at school, don't like school, and we give them just school. We don't have athletics, we don't have the arts, we don't have anything like that. And so our big message to them is, well, what's your next step in life? What is it that you want to do? And so we brought in a law enforcement mentor. We brought in a real estate mentor, construction mentor, cosmetology. We found out what the kids want to do, and we've brought in those professionals to help them prepare for that next level. Because what we found is when they have a plan, then the present is more important.
Yeah.
When they don't have a plan, then school is not important at all. And like Larry Weichman, our real estate mentor, I said, Larry, what's the most important thing? What's the most important skill our kids need for real estate? And he said, well, math. Right? Yep. It's all about interest and down payments and figuring it up correctly. And I said, well, great. Our kids need to hear that because they always going to say, when am I ever going to use this?
Right.
Well, if you're in real estate, you're going to use math every day. And it's the difference between making money or not making money. So,
I've always had this argument on, you bring up some good points. It is, you got to connect with the kids. And I always believed that you talk about Larry and the importance of math and things like that. I always believed that math should be taught like this. Instead of, okay, a train is leaving Chicago at 60 miles an hour heading to San Francisco. Another one is going 43 miles an hour going to New York. Which one is going to get there for, have you ever come across that in life? But now you have a math class that teaches you how to calculate a baseball batting average.
Right.
Or, all these different things, in sports and everything. I think there'd be an interest for a lot of, young athletes that maybe don't do as well to get engaged in figuring that out. So I think there's a way to connect to
We have that class. It's called statistics.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Right? And that's what, instead of going on after algebra and geometry and then taking calculus, a lot of people will take statistics. If you're going to be in education, it's a lot better for you to take statistics than it is calculus.
Yes.
Right? The problem with math a lot of times in high schools is you have math majors teaching kids to be math majors. And if you're going to go into mathematics or sciences or things, then that's important. But if you're not, like if you're going to be in construction, you need to know geometry.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? And you need to know fractions. And so, again, we're looking at what specific career do they want, and then what do we need? It's more hands-on. It's more relevant to what they're going to be doing.
It's more like it's applying the curriculum to something specific.
Absolutely.
So I owe the district such a big debt of gratitude. My stepdaughter, she comes down from Vegas a number of years ago, and I plugged her into Newport Harbor High School, and it was not a match. there were a lot of cliques there, and not to knock Newport Harbor High School,
Right.
great high school and everything like that, but she was just out of it. She was a newcomer coming into the district, didn't plug in at all, and it was terrible. And she was, getting terrible grades and had no friends. Well, I came across this car wash one day over at Mariners parking lot, Mariners Elementary School parking lot. And a bunch of kids there, and they were not different, but they kind of beat to a different drum and everything. I said, "Where are you guys from?" And they said, "Orange Coast Middle College High School." And it was this little high school in the middle of Orange Coast College. Anyway, I put my daughter in there, my stepdaughter.
Right.
And she excelled for 2 years there. And you're right, no sports, it was just about class, but it was like cool teachers and all these kind of things. Anyway, she gets out of there with her degree and is able to go on to college. Now, she's not going to get into Harvard at this point because her freshman sophomore year, but she did get into Santa Barbara City College, and we moved her up there. She lived on UCI or UCSB campus and went to the community college there. Anyway, she got out of there. Because of Newport Mesa Unified School District and this offering, she went to Long Beach State, got a nursing degree, got invited to be a nurse practitioner. She does open heart surgery these days.
Wow, that's
And
great.
it's because of Newport Mesa Unified School District offering something very similar to like a Back Bay, where it's not for the traditional kid, and it does make a huge, huge difference.
Well, when you're talking about Newport Harbor High School, they've got 3,000 kids. So it's hard for them to really make an education for one or two kids. We've got 170 kids. So we have the ability to really sit down with them, spend more time with them, find out what makes them tick, and maybe make their education a little bit more than the comprehensive. And I always tell them, the comprehensive work for about 80% of the kids. Right. And for the others, we have Back Bay, we have early college, now it's called. We have the Cloud, we have Monte Vista. There are other offerings for those kids that don't fit into that traditional, 80% student mix.
And then there were kids like John. We just brought him into a high school and bullied him the whole time. So
No,
I'm
listen.
kidding. John was a baseball player.
No,
right?
I liked to play baseball in high school. I had a good time. I was student body president, got into politics.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, it's exactly what you said with me is when I got into college my freshman year, I decided I wanted to be a lawyer. And I says, what do you need to be a lawyer? And the main thing was good grades. And so it didn't matter what class I took, I had to figure out some strategy to get an A. And that's what I did the rest of the college, and then I just went on into law school. I wasn't a good student in high school. I was less than a 3.0 student, but I turned it on in college. Okay, so we're here to talk about what's happening this summer. Do you know that we're calling this the summer of the 70th? Do you know why?
The summer of the 70s.
Summer of the 70th.
Yes, I do.
Okay, why? Why?
Because Costa Mesa turned 70 years old.
Costa Mesa turned 70.
And you know what? Their
that?
birthday was one day before Tommy Johnson came into this world.
Really?
I think it was June 26, 1953, and I was born June 27, 1953.
All right, so it's your summer of your 70th.
Yeah, you're right.
It's all right. So
I'd rather have that on the golf course.
It's
being able to shoot 70, but no, I'm turning it.
You're getting there. You're going to be, if you live long enough, you'll be able to shoot your age.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm going to have to live a lot longer.
You shoot your age on the front nine. So anyway, so we're going to have the summer of the 70s. We're having a great year. One of the main reasons we brought Kirk in is to talk about a real signature event in the city of Costa Mesa that's been going on for literally, it's been going on, I think, longer than the city of Costa Mesa has been incorporated, and that's the fish fry.
76th annual this year.
Unbelievable.
It is truly in Costa Mesa, but maybe even bigger than that. Maybe the whole Newport Mesa. It is.
Trying to get you to hold it up for the camera here. You're showing them.
There's a
there
camera right over
there
here
on the wall. There we go.
I should take
But
my
the
sticky
fish
off.
fry is kind of in the whole Newport Mesa area, kind of the
There we go.
kickoff to me for summer.
Yeah, you could say that. This weekend they're having the Baker Bash at St. John the Baptist, and I was involved in that for 11 years. That's a real good party too.
Yeah, you're right. That is.
And they used to have them at the same. Remember, they would have them for a few years on the same day. So they had the Baker Bash and the fish fry, and now they're separated by a couple of weeks. And we're bringing the fish fry back to the a big footprint on Lions Park, so there's going to be a lot more room. So what do we got in store for the fish fry?
Well, the big thing is, as you said, is we have a bigger footprint than we've had in years, and so being able to use the baseball field and have a full carnival will really help. We started a beer and wine garden a few years ago, and that's gone really, really well. But again, the signature is always the fish. That, and also the community groups that are there that set up booths. Estancia Baseball sells hamburgers and hot dogs. We have a taco guy. So there's other foods for other people as well. But the city of Costa Mesa usually has a booth, and we have a lot of our local nonprofits that set up booths just to get information out to people about their programs as well. And those are people that benefit from the fish fry. As you know, all the money goes back to the community, to the schools and the nonprofits. And so for them to get their story out in front of everybody to a lot of people, I mean, we'll sell over 3,000 dinners over the weekend. So there'll be a number of people there. Give
us a little history on that deal. Like, and I know you weren't a member way back then, but how did the thing start? Where did the fish, where did the whole fish fry thing come from? Is there a special recipe? What's the deal?
So I've got a little bit of background here. The club actually started in 1927. So in 4 years, we'll have our 100-year anniversary. But the fish fry actually started in the late 40s, early 50s, somewhere around that time. Right. And it was actually the dory fishermen that had a really large catch of fish. And they had a bunch of fish and said, what are we going to do with this? And so some of them were Lions Club members. And they said, well, let's take it down to Lions Park. We'll invite a bunch of families and we'll just, cook up the fish.
Yeah.
And that's really how it started. They had such a good time that they started doing that annually. And then again, as you guys know, back in the 60s and 70s, it got so big, there was a parade and there was a Miss Costa Mesa there and everything. But, with Costa Mesa at that time, the Lions Club was a bunch of small business owners. There were a lot of small entrepreneurs in this city. Well, that's kind of gone by the wayside. Everything's kind of corporate now. And so all of our service organizations are kind of struggling for membership because of that. Because in the old days, it was the local barber and the local doctor and dentist and the local people that had their business just in this city and became a part of the service organizations. And with the corporate, the other thing is it was a lot easier to run a parade during that period of time too, because the small businesses would close down for that time because they were a part of it. Now with the corporates, you got to get your letter into them 6 months in advance, and it's just
now a small business.
The world's more difficult
in Costa Mesa's Nordstrom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's sad.
No,
I mean, it's good, but it's...
I mean, we have some huge businesses in Costa Mesa, but we still have some small businesses. And, I've been wanting to bring back the parade now that we're at Lions Park. So for years it was at Fairview Park, which was a really good venue, I thought, but we got a good amount of pushback from the environmental folks and bringing it back to where it started at Lions Park, and now with the new footprint. We're just adding, I think we'll add something to it every year, and maybe that... that parade will come back. And I remember they had the most beautiful baby contest. I remember that when I went there when I was first in Costa Mesa.
They had baby contests. They had the Miss Costa Mesa contest.
Yeah.
And then that person would be, in the parade the next year. And so it was kind of a big deal.
You know what? I got to tell you, there were so many years when I was living in Newport, and I would get up early in the morning and I'd head over to Costa Mesa Country Club to play. And I'd go by, between Triangle Square and the big Spanish building, Newport Boulevard there, and I'd go down. I'd make the right turn on on Harbor Boulevard, and every time I'd make that turn, I'd think, "This is a great day for a parade," because Harbor Boulevard was the greatest parade street there was. It was so wide. Now it has medians and different things in it. But for a time there, when you guys used to have the parade there, it was outstanding.
Yeah, it's hard to bring the float down with the medians. Come to think about it, they don't have medians on Colorado Boulevard, right?
No. And I remember they used to stage it at the Kmart down on Wilson on Harbor down there. That's where everything's staged and where they started from, and came right down Harbor Boulevard, turned on 19th Street, and then came down Center Street.
So what's going on in Newport?
What's going on in Newport?
There's
a lot of things. I mean, so the things we've reported lately on, one of them happens to be a Costa Mesa event, and it may have already happened. Has the gala happened at the ACMA? I know ACMA
I don't know. I didn't
get a big gala coming up.
I didn't get invited to it if it happened.
Another thing that well, they don't go as low as the mayor, but Newspaper publishers get invited, but anyway, another big thing that's coming up, I think it's June 22nd, that affects both Newport Beach and Costa Mesa. Certainly is Hogue Hospital's big summer fest,
Okay.
and that I believe is at the Newport Dunes. Big party, lots of restaurants, kind of that thing. And then I went Saturday. I went or Sunday. I was in the Balboa Island Parade, and then afterwards I went to the Vega Hotel, and they had a country western singer.
Okay.
They're going to have a concert venue there through the summer several times. The city also has concerts on the Green during the summer. I know Costa Mesa has their concert series too.
Oh yeah.
A lot of stuff's going on, but
So we've got the from my perspective, I think the biggest thing, well, with respect to the fish fry that we're doing this summer, is our July 3rd Independence Day event. So we're looking to get about 10,000 people there. So the headliner is the Tijuana Dogs. Everything's free parking, free admission. You can even get a free hot dog. The firefighters are going to be out cooking hot dogs. We're going to give away 1,500 Frisbees. So we have two acts, an 80s band and then the Tijuana Dogs. We read the Declaration of Independence, so, to commemorate the event. It's just it's a lot of fun, and we've been doing that off and on since 2017. That was one of the big initiatives that I did the first year that I was on council. After I got elected in 2016, I said this city needs an Independence Day celebration. So we're doing it, and we're trying to make it the biggest it's ever been.
I learned as a high school principal early on that you never give kids at an assembly things they can throw.
Okay.
So we wouldn't give out frisbees to our
yeah.
high school kids.
Yeah.
As mayor and John taking the stage, he might find that out this year.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what, John? I think that's great, and I love to hear the word free. But I want to step back for a second, because we were talking about the fish fry, and it's not free. You go there and you pay for the fish meals and everything. But the Lions Club over the years, on an event like that, one of the reasons they charge is you guys are so gracious in giving money to different organizations, right?
All our money is given back to the community, yes.
Yeah. So over the years, you've given back, I would imagine, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, I would say over $1 million.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's great, and I think both serve a great purpose. I mean, I love the fish fry. I love the whole thing that the community comes together, and it's in the park, and good food and all of that stuff. And yeah, you pay, you go on the rides, and you do all that stuff, and you got to go in your pocket to do it, but the money goes to a good cause. And then a month later, the city does something like you're talking about, and it's going to be so spectacular, all free. Get people out there that might not otherwise be able to enjoy something like that.
Well,
so that's great.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that I didn't say, which I've got to say the basics, is it starts at 5 and the fireworks are at 9:30. Again, it's on July 3rd, which is a Monday, and it's the Orange County Fair and Event Center. It's in the parking lot, and so you just go right up there and have a great time.
Well, that's so good. That's so good. What other things in Costa Mesa? You guys also have the concerts in the park.
Concerts in the park. So the first one is on July 11th. That's my anniversary, July 11th. So I have something to do for my anniversary. Oh, by the way, today is Amy's birthday. So
Oh,
happy
very
birthday,
good.
happy birthday to
What
Amy.
is she, about 43?
No, she's 43 plus. Anyway.
You know what, John? You're a very lucky guy. You have a very cute, adorable wife.
Yeah, she's
How
very.
she puts up with you, I don't know. We go, Kirk, you'd love this. We go out to play golf, right? And Amy and John and me and Amy, we get there and Amy always puts her clubs on the back of my cart, and I always go, Amy, I think that's John's cart over there. And she goes, oh, I know. And she has this deal when she plays with John. We're good to play golf together. No talking about you being mayor, and no cigars, and it's a different John out there.
It's brutal. Yeah, it's like Well, she doesn't like me to smoke my cigars. And the other thing about Amy is she wants me to putt out all my putts. It's just like, it's ridiculous. I know there's...
And John can't make a putt over,
Right.
you know. I mean, he takes it from 5 feet out, and then it gets done, and he says, "Yeah, I shot 88 today." You know.
You got to consider the rate of play at some point. So, and then, so that we have an 80s band on our anniversary, July 11th, and on July 18th, we have a Santana tribute band, you know.
Nice.
You know Santana? Black Magic
I
Woman.
know.
Yeah, and then, of course, then the Tijuana Dogs are going to be back on July 25th.
They have
so,
really taken.
Yeah,
this
I think
from
the concerts in the park is one of the finest things in the city of Costa
Oh,
Mesa.
yeah.
It brings people together, and it's just during the summer, it's awesome.
yeah, and you know what we've been doing? You know, you see all these bike paths popping up in Costa Mesa, protected bike paths. And so,
I used to be on that committee.
yeah, well, it's a great committee, great people in the community are coming up and giving us great suggestions. And tonight we're going to vote on our budget, and it includes a lot of public works projects, including bikes, all the way. So we did this thing a couple years ago. We had a concert, and we created a temporary bike path, protected bike path on Placentia. There were about 500 people that rode their bike to Fairview Park because they could do so safely. So then we looked at that as kind of a proof in concept or pilot project. So now we have a project going on that's going to create protected bike lanes on both sides of Placentia, all the way from I think it starts at Adams and goes all the way to Wilson. Protected bike lanes the whole way.
That's awesome.
That's good. That's good. Hey, you know, I know we're kind of coming up at the end of it. You got any more things you want to plug for summer? Because I want to get something else out of
Yeah,
Kirk here.
get whatever you want out of Kirk.
So we were talking beforehand, and one of the things that brings the biggest smile to my face is a club I joined 6 years ago, and when I had my granddaughter Kate, and we've added a couple more. Didn't you recently join that club as being a proud grandparent?
I did. My grandson, Aiden Jeffrey, just turned 8 months 2 days ago.
Well, congratulations. That's huge stuff, isn't it?
I tell
Changes
peop-
your life.
I tell people that the joy that you have when you hold your child is exactly the same, but not the headaches. Not how am I going to pay
Right.
for this kid? How am I going to pay for college? What if he
Right.
gets sick? How about daycare? And you know, my wife and I are in a position now where we can just help.
Right.
You know, how about you guys go out to dinner Saturday night and we'll watch Aiden?
Yeah.
Right. Or you know, if they need a couple dollars here or there, we're in the position where we can help them out. So.
And it's Kelsey's or Carly's?
Carly.
Carly's daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
So get this. So the first time I ever met Kirk, so now he's a grandpa, and the first time I ever met him was in my living room when I was having the parent meeting for our t-ball team. And Carly and Kelsey and Tommy were all on the same t-ball team.
Very good.
And I had to lobby Denise, his wife, was the player rep or player agent, and I had to lobby her to get that t-ball team. So she started me on that trajectory. She gave me the team, and I coached for another 18 years.
That's great. Well, you know, it's funny on those back to the grandchildren. So here's the difference, John, and you're not there yet, but Kirk knows what I'm talking about. So I take my granddaughter out, and I can't remember what we did. It was a couple years back, and she wasn't, you know, she's probably 3 years old or something. And I have this T-Bird that I drive around on occasion. I mean, it's not the greatest car in the world, but it's a nice, fun little car, top down and stuff like that. So we go out to the ice cream store with the Baskin Robbins down on Harbor, and we have an ice cream together. And what does a 3-year-old do when they eat an ice cream cone? You know,
Get it all over.
it drips all over.
Yeah.
Everything. And she gets back into my car, and she's grabbing the dashboard, touching it. Now, if that's your kid,
Yeah.
you're yelling and screaming like, "You dummy!" and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
all this stuff
Yeah.
and everything like that, right? When it's your grandchild, it's like, "That's okay, sweetie. That's okay, Papa. I got ice cream on the dashboard. Oh, it's okay. It'll wash off. No problem."
yeah.
And that's that's the difference. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
All right, Paul says we got 1 minute left. Hey, so you know, one thing I got to say is that I've been neglectful in saying the last 2 episodes is that Stevens Friedland, my law firm, sponsors this wonderful show.
That's great.
Right here in
That's
Costa
great.
Mesa, Stevens Friedland, business trial attorneys.
That's nice. That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And we are appreciative of that. Before we go, one more pass at the fish fry, and then we'll get back to Stevens Friedland. But give us the dates.
Friday, June 23rd, Saturday, the June 24th, and Sunday, June 25th.
And what time does it run for?
So Friday is evening, 5 to 10, and Saturday, 11 to 10, Sunday, 11 to 9.
And you've ordered good weather for that weekend?
We will have perfect weather, yes.
Perfect weather. Bring a pocket full of money to enjoy rides, good food, games,
Yep, come and see the community booths.
all the above. And, it's such a good cause. I commend you, Kirk, for, doing that. I know you've been engaged in it for years and things like that. And it's really one of those signature events that makes a guy like John proud of being mayor of this community.
Yep,
Yeah,
I went
it's
to my
wonderful.
first fish fry in 1963.
Really?
Yep.
Very
Yeah,
good.
that's the year I was born. It was a great
There
year.
you go.
First fish fry, and I was born, and so it's all good.
Let's go around the horn one more time and give everybody websites or something they can get to. Let's start with Stevens Friedland. How do they find that? Our great sponsor. here.
Stevens Friedland, www.sf-lawyers.com, like San Francisco, sf-lawyers.com. Read all our bios and hire us, or just give me a call, 714-337-1872. If you have any legal issues, I'll help you out.
Anything we want to plug on Stew News here? How do we reach?
Stew News is alive and well. I keep threatening as we sit here and talk about Costa Mesa events and things like that. I keep threatening. We actually have it on the books to try to have Stew News in Costa Mesa by the end of the year. Right now we're in Newport Beach and Laguna Beach having fun doing it. And, maybe that's the time you retire, Mr. Baurmeister, and you become publisher of Stew News Costa Mesa.
There you go. We heard it here first. And the Lions Club or anything else we want to push?
If you want more information about the fish fry, you can go to www.costamesalionsclub.com.
And one last.
One last thing. So the fair starts
Oh, yeah.
on July 14th, right in the great city of Costa Mesa. So please show up there to go through August 13th. And then this is the last year. I know Kirk's got his Rams gear, so I don't know if he cares about this, but this is the last year for the Chargers at Jack Hammett Sports Complex.
I didn't know
And
that.
their opening day for their camp is July 16th. Sorry, July 26th.
the Chargers left
July
San Diego?
26th. Yeah, they left San Diego. Yeah.
Who knew?
And now they're going to leave Costa Mesa. The Costa Mesa Chargers are moving up the freeway, but they're going to be here starting on July 26th.
I'm an Oakland Raider fan. Oh, they're in Las Vegas, right?
Right.
But you're a St. Louis Ram fan?
No.
He's an LA Rams
isn't that
fan.
funny? I mean, that's a different show, but you got San Diego Chargers no longer, you got the St. Louis Rams no longer, you got the Oakland Raiders no longer, and they all, some of them.
But I'll tell you, I became a Ram fan in 1965, and then they left.
I know.
And I swore them off. The day they said they were coming back, I was a Ram fan again, like they never left. It was like a light switch came back on.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Oakland, L.A., back to Oakland, now Vegas. San Diego, the Chargers, they actually started in L.A.
Oh, yeah.
years
Right?
and years
Sure.
ago. So
Yeah.
everybody has returned home at one point or another.
Yeah, I know. People pass through, and you're a season ticket holder of the Rams.
I
so
am. Yeah.
That's great. All right, so
Hey, great having you here. Great
Thank
having
you.
you here. Good luck with
It's an honor to be here
fish
with you
fry.
fine gentlemen.
it's fun.
Take us out. Any final thoughts?
I
Final words?
said my final thought.
That's it?
That's it. What's your final thought, Paul?
My final thought is we're over time. Hey, that's it. One more reason to tune in each and every time as the guys tee it up with the people driving Orange County, keeping our community on course. Right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Teal Applied Innovation Center.